9 types of cancers are more heavily funded than childhood cancers, according to the American Cancer Society's current grants webpage. Camp Casey needs volunteers and donors to band together to support the children in our communities who suffer from one of the most devastating diseases, cancer. I'm going to discuss the lack of funding and awareness of childhood cancers, the effects of these diagnoses on the families, and also the long-term effects on the children themselves. With a lack of awareness and funding, our kids are being left behind with very little support. And Camp Casey makes sure that with the help of horses, no child gets left behind. With the onset of cancer in childhood being seemingly the earliest you could diagnose it, it's really a shame that other cancers with better prognoses have more funding. Um, so that's my first point, is there's not enough funding, support, and awareness for childhood cancers. Per the Truth 365, the challenge is that many children are still dying because progress has been stagnant for the last 10 years due to major funding gaps. There's not enough people affected because statistically there's not as many children as there are adults who are affected by other cancers, etc. Awareness for other cancers such as breast cancer have outstanding campaigns with their Boobies campaign, but childhood cancers just don't seem to have that same kind of backing to the campaigns. And not only are children with cancer left behind because of the funding gap loopholes, but their families also are lacking the care and support that they need to handle the treatment process. Families of these children, especially siblings, can be negatively affected by the treatment process itself. In the European Journal of Cancer, it was published that during treatment, many psychological problems for siblings have been reported. These kids just feel left out. All the attention, sadly, is to their sibling, and they can't do anything about it. And they feel bad, too, for feeling that way. So there's a lot of mental health issues that need to be addressed with the siblings of these children. And Camp Casey strives to involve the entire family in our house call events just as much as the affected child to make a positive environment for everybody. Families take a hit during the treatment process, but it doesn't stop there for the child who suffered the most. Childhood cancer survivors have long-term effects that really affect their quality of life in the end. In the New England Journal of Medicine, it was published that as a group, cancer survivors were 8 times as likely as their siblings to have severe or life-threatening chronic health conditions. And even the monitoring of the survivors is such an important overall part of their health care that gets lost when these kids come into adulthood. And so you see all the issues surrounding childhood cancers, and wouldn't you like to know how you could help? Camp Casey works across the state to bring a smile to the faces of families suffering from such horrible diseases. Camp Casey works to carry on the legend of Casey, a girl who in the last few years of her life was introduced to horses. As described in the Casey's Legacy section of their website, watching Casey interact with horses was therapeutic for her family as well. When Casey was at the barn, they were able to witness an instant transformation as her hospital gown was replaced with boots and breeches. Connecting with horses allowed Casey to be a kid again and kept her and her family strong during their difficult fight. So what I would suggest is for all of you to go Google Camp Casey right now, go to their website, and begin the training to be a Wrangler volunteer so you can join our horsey house calls and help a family in need. Now, if you have a limited amount of time or can't get the transportation necessary to get to these house calls, you could also just go to Camp Casey's website on their wish list page. They have a list of super cheap gifts that you can donate to their cause. Many of them are gift cards, really simple. Camp Casey is a phenomenal organization, and I am so honored to be associated with so many big hearts. We bring horseback riding to the doorstep of so many children in need, and from my own personal experience, it's so rewarding to spend these few hours with the families and make their day and see the smiles and be told by parents that their kids haven't smiled like that in days, and it's just so unfortunate for these families to have to deal with these prognoses, and it's our job to give them a free day of fun. And you get to be responsible for allowing a kid to just be a kid again. So don't let another child go unnoticed and uncared for because of the lack of awareness. Go become a volunteer today and make a difference in the lives of families in our communities and spread awareness. Childhood cancers are underfunded, their families continue to lack support, and the long-term effects aren't being attended to adequately. As adults in our communities, we are responsible for looking out for our children, making sure that they get the support and the care that they need. The driving statement has never been so appropriate. Let no child be left behind.